holds a special place in my heart. And being a chubby kid growing up, it definitely made me feel good watching this, being like, oh, there's chubby kids on TV, and they're funny, so I can be funny, or I can be whatever. And then the nice lessons that you learn at the end, that you don't need to have the six pack and all this stuff to feel good about yourself. As long as as long as you feel good and you're healthy, it doesn't really matter what you look like. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I picked this. It's just a movie I've grown up with.
Very nice. I can respect that. Turning to our guest, Yael, who this was a first time watch for him.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe that. That's crazy. 95.
And that's, I don't know, I feel like when I was growing up, I also, I did watch a lot of Disney movies. I'm pretty sure that's all I watched. And I was telling Wesley, I vaguely remember some of the scenes, but it never actually clicked. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this movie. It never did. But as a, I really enjoyed the movie. I did, just like you, I also grew up a chubby kid, and being bullied and the whole thing. So I did connect in a lot of ways to what the main character and actually the whole everyone is kind of going through. Not being accepted and kind of being pushed with this idea that you're only healthy if you look super fit and with all these six packs, and you have to be buff and this and that, and how they also get in your mind that if you're not that same way, you're not going to be accepted, you're not going to have a girlfriend, you're not going to have, just like this, I don't know, I feel that the movie really touches up in all these points that are a big thing, when you're
Very
growing
relatable.
up. Yeah, and not even when you're growing up, sometimes even as an older person, you still feel like that, because it's been imprinted in your mind that way, and then you just never get it out of your head, So I really like how they do focus on, it's more about how you feel and you're healthy, as long as you're healthy, that's what's important. So I don't know, I really enjoyed the movie. I really like the comedy on it. I was actually telling Wesley I like how they stick with that cartoon style, certain movements, or how they'll hide behind trees and kind of peek over after a second, I don't know, I really enjoyed that as well. I don't know, I really enjoyed the movie. Really nice.
Wes, what about you, man? When did you first see this one?
I discovered this back when Disney Channel was still really good. Or at least geared towards me, what I liked at the time. They would play Brink, they would play all of this stuff.
Paper Brigade?
Yeah, the Paper Brigade, a great example. All this stuff that I would love, and I came across this. This is a film that they would play after hours. A movie that would come on when regular kids were already in bed, or something like that. You know what I mean? And I was just like, yo. And I remember being a little kid and wondering how the fuck I never knew that this came out, because I believe that this was a theatrical release. It was not like a Disney Channel original or anything like that. It was a real release. And I didn't discover it until it was put on Disney Channel, and I thought it was awesome. You know what I mean? And even back then, I was like, "This is great," because it's something that's never been done before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something, especially now in the PC culture that we live in, that nobody would dare touch, this topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very, the movie itself is very of its time. It's very fun. It does have some kind of, I could see why people might be on the fence about it or not like it as much, because it does have this kind of mean-spirited, kind of fat jokes here and there, you know what I mean, that are peppered in.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the message becomes it's okay to exercise, but and get healthy, but you need to do it on your own terms and how you feel you're comfortable. You know what I mean? And that comes to, not to jump way to the end, but to talk about the end right now. You know, that's why I think once they overcome Perkis and the kids party and the adults there kind of let them do their thing and learn from themselves, like, that you can't just like do whatever the fuck you want, or there's going to be consequences, you know, the next day. And then, you know what I mean, don't
put Twinkies on your pizza.
Exactly. They party all night and they eat whatever they want, and then the next day they wake up, it's like they have like a food coma type of deal.
I was telling Wesley that's like a Project X version
for kids.
It's like you start getting all crazy, you know, with drinks. They just eat like all this food.
That was probably my all-time favorite scene. I remember as a kid seeing this, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I wish this would happen in real life. I would love it. Like it was just amazing. Like the guy walks up with like the 6-foot sub and all the pizzas and the ice cream and all the the condiments for the ice cream and stuff. I was like, that's just a fat kid's dream.
They're like, look at all that food.
I was a fat kid, and then I was like, oh my god. Even now watching it, I'm like, oh my god, like that looks so good. But then I'd be like, man, an hour later after eating all that, I would be throwing up.
Go to sleep, man.
Man,
you get that food coma.
I'd have that itis. Just be stuck on the couch for like 6 hours. But
that's cool.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but man, that probably is the best scene for me.
Yeah, I think the ending creates like you get what they're trying to say with that. You know what I mean? I think it's like and then their leader, I forget.
Pat.
Pat comes out and he's like, so what did we learn today, guys? You know what I mean? Like, he let them fuck up so they could learn for themselves. And then they decide, like, hey, we might not be, like, the best at it, but we're going to try to be healthy in our own way. You know what I mean?
And I really like what they chose as the characters, because they chose, and of course you have the main characters who they're all overweight, people, and then you have the same guy who's been there for how many years, like 18 years, and he's basically, he like never got out of the, like he's like also a part of it. And then you have I don't want to say normal, but the nurse who's like pretty and like looks good, and then you have the guy who was also overweight but lost weight. And then how they portray everything, especially like when in that scene you really like at the end, how he like is going to town on those like candies and everything. Like, so you really see like even though he changed his appearance, he never changed as a
he missed it.
He missed it. He like, I don't know, like I felt like that was really how they portrayed that. It's really, really cool because like right now, like I'm myself in the process of losing weight. And then I do feel like that sometimes where I'm like, dude, like, fuck this shit, like, I want to eat whatever I want to fucking eat. Like, I don't want to fucking kill every fucking day, So, I don't know, I really, that cracked me up when he's just, like, literally in the ground, passed out.
Like, covered in chocolate syrup?
Yeah, just covered in fucking, it's fucking funny, dude. I love the comedy on this. It's just amazing.
Did you? I like the scene where they're waking up for the first time after Tony takes over, and he's like, "We're gonna be skinny winners." And he's like, "Skinny wieners? Did he say skinny wieners?" I remember as a kid when they said that, I'm like, "Oh my god, they said wieners!" Like as a kid, I'm like, "Can they say that?" And like being a 6-year-old kid or whatever, watching this for the first time, I'm like, "Oh, he said wiener." Oh my gosh.
And I really enjoy how they do a lot of callbacks on the jokes at the beginning of the show, and then use, like, for example, the wings. How they, as I was watching it, I'm like, why would they, like, I feel like that's a scene that if they didn't do anything with it, that was a pointless scene, where then she just gives them the wings, But then you actually see how they use that to, it's like not a joke, inside joke, but like they keep running throughout the whole show. Especially his first day when he's meeting. What's the Keenan, I believe.
Keenan.
You had subtleties and things, nuances that just don't exist anymore, and that's a part of the charm of going back and reliving these kind of time capsule films.
Yeah. It's funny at the end when Pat when he has that, I forget the guy's name, but he throws the trophy into the water, and the coach from Camp MVP is like, "Are you crazy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm crazy about my gal." Gives her a kiss and does a little
dip
or whatever.
Yeah,
the
dip.
And Alyssa, she started watching the film, I think the last 30 minutes of the movie, and then she sees this, and she's on her phone like half the time anyways, and she looks up and she's like, "Oh my god, this is such a 90s movie just by this ending, the last 5 minutes." I'm like, "Yep, it is." But I was like, man, that's it's so cheesy and but funny, and it works. It fits with the film. It's perfect, I think.
Yeah, it's like that weird, obscure, outcast side of Disney,
Yeah.
That I wish we got more of, but we got some stuff, you know what I mean? And when I say that, I mean like movies like Brink and just things that are touching on alternative lifestyle.
McFarlane
type stuff. Exactly.
That's a really good one too.
That's also Disney, right?
That's also Disney, yeah. And I don't think I don't know, last time I checked it was not streaming. They were waiting. I
thought it was on Stars. They probably took it off.
Yeah, but I think they had this rights for a little while, so then Disney couldn't put it in. So they put in coming soon and stuff.
Oh. Okay.
And then touching back to how you guys mentioned how this movie is like ahead of its time and everything. Maybe that's a good thing, because like you said, if they even tried or attempted to do this at the moment, I feel like you said like, it would be watered down like so much, and then writers would be just kind of worried about how not to offend people and how not,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a good thing, that they, I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Forget what I was going with this, but but yeah, I feel like it was ahead of its time, but also that's like if it would have been done right now, it wouldn't been good at all, or maybe it would never happen. So definitely. And I don't know, like I remember someone saying, "Oh yeah, I remember being traumatized by this movie." I'm like, how can you be like, you didn't get the point then, like you didn't pay attention, because like I don't know.
Traumatized, really?
Or something like that. Oh yeah, this is part of my trauma, because it was
Oh yeah, gotcha.
Being part of a thicker body person, and just being part of the camp and being part of the club, I don't know. I myself as a person, who has overweight or deals with overweight, I didn't feel. I don't know. I like I said, I connected a lot, but I didn't feel like it was something that judged me or anything. Or I mean, maybe if you watch the first half of the movie where you don't see where it's really going, how they're really trying to like make you feel better about yourself. Now I can see why, like the whole shaming and stuff, but I don't know. I guess everything's perception. And
but to the movie's credit, I feel like they do make Ben Stiller the clear bad person throughout. Because he does most of the shaming. Because when you get to that part where you figure out that what are they called, the Bushwicks or something, that first the couple that owned Camp Hope for however many years.
Oh yeah. The guys are going back to bankruptcy.
They like it's like a total children's film until you hit where they're like, we're gonna bring out your new owner, and he comes out and he's like, oh, like
just all into his like
Super Zoolander, but like on
talk show, not talk show, but what are those like
the infomercial guys, like it reminds me of like like early 2000s, late 90s, like Tybo and all of those guys, the Shake Weight, like all these weird